It takes us on to verse 14 to 16, really, where we read about Gentiles who do not have the law do by nature things required of the law. They show the requirements of the law written on their hearts. Paul, what's Paul talking about here, the Apostle Paul?
Yeah, it's a good one, because if you imagine this Jewish person who's like, hey, I got the law, so I'm obviously on God's side. And what Paul's saying is, but are you doing what God really requires, or what the law was really all about? And then, well, what is the law really about? Let's, for now, because something we'll look at, but like this law of God was always really about getting people to trust. Trust in the Lord God and the promises of Christ and everything. That's what the law was really all about. But it's amazing, because then Paul's like, listen, you're taking all this confidence from possessing the law. There's these Gentile guys here who never have seen the law. They've never have a Bible. They've never heard of the law. But they have God's law written on their hearts. And you're like, what? How have they done that? How have they got the law written on their hearts? Well, that's what the gospel's about. So what his point is, they've got the law written on their heart, and they're not reading it. They've got it inside them. They're doing it. They're doing it. How? Because they trust in Jesus. And that is this, because you'll go, well, what's that about? It goes back to Old Testament promises. Jeremiah 31, 33 to 34, and Ezekiel 36, 27, where the Lord said, listen, if you really trust me, this gospel covenant I've got means that the law, it's not something outside you that stands against you. It's something, my law, my character, who I am, let's write that into you. So you just do. You do it instinctively. It's like coming out of you rather than you trying to force it in. And that was what Jeremiah said. Look, that's it. And so people don't need to be told, hey, you need to know God. They'll just know God because they trust him and they've got him inside and living like that. So Paul's really saying to them, hey, listen, rather than you just studying the law as something outside of you, if you trust Jesus, you can have the law written into you. And then what you do is not something you're trying to force. It's something that flows out. It's fruit that comes out of you. Yeah.
That's so helpful. That's so helpful. Tobias, if I may come back to you just for the moment, for